Welcome to the Coral Coast here in Viti Levu in Fiji. Location of some splendid resorts, and resort-based tourism is extremely important in the Pacific economy in general and the Fijian economy in particular. Let's just have a little georamble through this particular resort here, and I'll explain a few things at the end. Isambulu Anaka. So this resort, folks, is called, believe it or not, the Warwick Resort. And no, I don't get to stay here for free, which is a shame. I brought my card just in case that was the case, but unfortunately it's not. This is a very nice resort indeed, and it brings in tourists from across the world, the Asia Pacific in particular, Australia, New Zealand as well. And resorts like this then are a major boon for the local economy, for the national economy of Fiji. They bring in tourist dollars, they bring in revenue that's taxed, and of course employment. So many of these resorts located here along the Coral Coast, as it's called, the coral referring to the reef that is extensive here at this point in the island. They have smaller villages alongside them that supply the labour, the bar staff, sometimes the cooks, the cleaning staff, and so on. And they're a major source of employment for those places. They also provide, of course, interestingly and somewhat controversially, a source, or at least a location, for the outlet of some aspects of Fijian culture. That's controversial though, because many people have argued that the kind of presentations that are made are somehow sanitized or fossilized, perhaps, for tourists, and in that sense they're not real. Other people have argued that without tourism, some of those cultural practices, the music and the singing and the dancing, may have in fact disappeared in the face of globalization and modernization. So there's an ongoing debate about the cultural impacts of this kind of tourism, and some people argue that more eco-friendly, and that, by eco I mean holistic, friendly tourism is perhaps more appropriate. So there are economic benefits, there are potentially cultural benefits, but there are also costs, and those costs have to do with economic problems and environmental problems. One of the biggest problems is, and has been, the extensive damage of the reef, and the reef is a very important source of nutrition for those people who live in the villages close to the resorts, and their exploration in tourism and just general pollution, perhaps beyond the fault of the resorts themselves, has led to the decline. There are also economic problems as well. Often these resorts are foreign capital sourced, and that means that the great majority of the profits may flow offshore. That's always a significant problem in this context. Also, locals that work here are paid a local wage, and some people argue that it's not sufficient or sustainable for a decent livelihood, and is in fact exploitative. But the debate then surrounding resorts here in Fiji and in the South Pacific in general is one that continues, and we cannot deny by any means the absolute fact that tourism is, in most cases, the most important productive economic sector or export in the majority of places in the South Pacific. And so it's here to stay, and those problems need to be dealt with. So, Georambles here at the Warwick Resort in Fiji, August 2018. Nisambula Vinaka, Nisamove, rather, Vinaka Levu.